ancient chants we stand, a tapestry woven hand in hand, our ancient wisdom a guiding light, nurturing hearts pure and bright. In the tapestry of life, amidst joys and challenges, exists a silent struggle that affects millions across the issue of mental health. As we gather here today, we are reminded of the profound impact it has on individuals, families, and communities. The stigma, discrimination, and neglect prevent care and treatment from reaching people with mental disorders, says WHO. And in this vicious cycle of neglect, there is little or no understanding. And where there is no understanding, there is neglect. Even the caretakers, the family members, and the society as a whole is impacted. In this context, we have joining us in our studio to talk to us Dr. Rohit Verma from the Department of Psychiatry, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, India. Dr. Rohit does research in psychiatry, psychophysiology, brain mapping, brain stimulation, and cognitive neurosciences. He is also developing mobile-based apps for educating, determining, and intervening in mental health issues, the stigma, and ways to remove it. Welcome, Dr. Rohit. Thank you for joining us in this day.
I thank you, Gita, as well as Sangeeta ji, along with the whole team and the whole staff of Heal Thy Round group there for this wonderful initiative. I wish this wonderful initiative goes to a larger audience so that a larger mass can benefit by this approach.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Today we have a few questions for you that I think you would like to answer for us so that our viewers can know more about what mental health is from a professional like you. We are live on healthyram.com and we have questions for Dr. Rohit. So here, let's begin. How can individuals identify early signs of mental health challenges and seek timely support for their well-being? Doctor?
So mental health is a broad terminology wherein disorders as well as not some amount of normal mental health issues or problems can also coexist. So if I say about disorders which makes an individual dysfunctional to a larger extent, then we should talk about set of symptoms which are there, which could be identified by the person themselves sometimes, and at times by their family members to notify that they are having some other sort of problem initiation. So illnesses like depression will usually begin with problems in their sleep pattern or problems in their eating habits. And family members can usually identify an altered behavior, a change in behavior of persons, and those are the usual symptoms which one can identify in person with mood disorders. Say with person with psychosis or schizophrenias, usually the alteration happens not just in sleep patterns but also in prominently in behavior, that they might act awkwardly or posit some awkward sentences to the family members, which is not you like their usual self, which the family members might have observed from a long period of time. So those are the usual things which family members do notice, changes in their mood, sleep patterns or behaviors, which can help the professional to intervene early in such cases to promote an effective kind of a treatment and a recovery phase for those individuals.
What role does art therapy play in complementing traditional psychiatric approaches for mental health treatment?
Right. So I'm not an expert in art therapy per se, but we do take use or help of professionals. So like psychiatry is not a singular subject which is dealt only by psychiatrists. Mental health professionals are a group of individuals of which psychiatrist is just one individual. And they have other set of individuals like psychologists, vocational rehabilitationists, other set of rehabilitation psychologists, clinical psychologists, and so forth. So one of the modality of treatment approach is an art therapy, there is what I understand. And we usually take help of art therapy as an adjunct to the ongoing treatment, which can complement this already existing treatment of medicinal nature or psychotherapeutic nature, and offer some sort of a creative outlet for that person who suffers from mental ailment, and it helps them to process their own emotions in a well nurtured way, ability to express themselves in a much more clearer way. So at the end, it helps them to improve their kind of mental as well as emotional well-being. So, so we do use it as an adjunct to the existing traditional methods of medicine as well as therapy there.
Wow. So, how can individuals foster resilience and cope with stressors in today's fast paced world?
Right. So resilience means the ability to handle stress. So one thing that all individuals should likely foster into their own development is promote self-caring nature. More and more that they care about their own self, not just in terms of body's health, but also mind's health. So strategies like performing mindfulness or taking part in such kind of an activities where personal growth is nurtured is one of the major facet for managing stress effectively. Other facet is seeking social supports. So by the help of those around us, we can build on upon our existing coping strategies so that they can have a more positive outcome towards the kind of stressors that we may face on a day-to-day basis in our lives.
I have another question for you. What are some effective strategies to address the stigma surrounding mental health and promote open conversations in society?
Stigmas arise from personal levels. So it's not an individual who is stigmatized, it's the society as a whole which gets stigmatized. So not just it's not just a notion of an individual, but what he collects information from others around him or her is what creates stigma there. So one of the important facets there, what I would suggest, is educating these kind of communal partners of an individual. So the community as a whole should be educated much more about what mental health is, what kind of problems are occurring in mental milieu of an individual, and what disorders are, what usual positive mental well-being states is, those kind of things. And sharing kind of a personal story by individuals who have already suffered from disorders or even negative well-being state in certain stressful periods would also help out a lot to break this kind of stigmatic position of the society. So encouraging about having more and more open discussions like this forum format that you are doing are the correct kind of ways by which one can actually develop more wide public sizing of what mental health is and what and how should it be managed or looked after.
Right. So, how can art-based interventions positively impact individuals struggling with anxiety and depression?
Right. So we and as psychiatrists believe that mental health is a property of the brain in that sense, brain and mind in that way. So there are circuits, neural circuits in our brain which are responsible for some or the other set of symptomatologies. Now, once a good system existing in our brain is something called as a reward system. So these art-based interventions, they can activate such kind of symptomatology, such kind of neural circuits, and thereby they can help by increasing a sense of accomplishment and joy in individuals, so that they can reduce the symptoms of anxiety or depression in a person there.
Do you think yoga and alternative medicines have a role to play in our wellness?
Absolutely, I think that uh, medicines do not answer all questions, and so does psychotherapy. We do not have all answers to each and every question that an individual possesses in form of symptomatological conditions. So having adjunct therapies like ayurveda or other conventional treatments, exercises, yoga, mindfulness, all these contribute very significantly to our overall well-being. So that is what we are actually at the end of the day looking forward to. That a individual should be as functional as he or she can with the amount of positive well-being state of mind as can be fostered upon. So all these holistic approaches with that kind of a mind-body kind of a connection can definitely and positively impact our mental well-beings and emotional well-being status.
I would like to hand over to Sangeeta Sharma for her questions
Yeah,
from the audience.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Nikita. It was really nice, lovely questions you had, lovely set of questions. And let me just check. There are some questions which are coming, like Sunil is asking that how long does it take to get off medication, and what are the practices that improve chances to recovery? I think you've partially answered some of the questions, but still briefly, if you could answer that.
Right. How long is a difficult question there. In my understanding, in medical science, cure is a tough word there. We have cures for infection. Um, we can have cure to a certain extent for a lot of operative or surgical procedures there. But majority of the illnesses, it's not psychiatric or mental health. It's about all other branches too. A person from hypertension or diabetes, or thyroid, they are supposed to be on treatment for lifetime, because what has now gone wrong inside their body is not from outside, it is emanating from inside. So doctors, they do well in an approach by scientific ways to change that abnormal altered state of bodily function to the way of normalcy that it should have been. So an antihypertensive medicine makes an hypertensive individual normotensive. Anti-diabetic medication makes a diabetic individual normoglycemic. Individuals who have altered blood pressure levels, high blood pressure levels, when taken medications which are called as antihypertensives, their BP becomes normal.
Sure.
Till the time that they continue on medications. If they
So
stop,
basically, we're managing the symptoms, is what you're
manage the
saying.
symptoms well enough, because we do not know how the etiology or the cause of that thing has been. Whether it is genes, whether it's environment affecting the genes, whether both of them relating to each other and then manifesting into a symptom pattern. That answer to that question is not available in science as of now for majority of the states. So we try to manage symptoms as well as we can with the available evidence of that science has brought upon.
Fair enough, I think. So I'll move on to the next question. That is from Mansi. And she's saying, if you are living with a family that you can't share your heart with, and you don't have anyone around, like a friend or something, to share your things with, so how should people my age? I think she's from a picture, she's looking like around 16, 17 or 18 maybe. How do they, my age, deal with this? How do people of my age deal with this?
So parents and relatives are someone which are gifted to us by birth.
Yeah.
Friends are something that we can find in our lives.
Yeah, from what she's saying, it seems that she's probably not having friends either right now. So she doesn't have anybody to share her heart with.
Maybe that is some area that she should be looking forward to, that she develop a better friend circle, a better way to handle her social support network, because the less number of friends there are, the more possibility of stress taking toll on your coping strategies would be.
Sure. I'm just adding to a question, like from my mind, is that, maybe sometimes your friends go abroad, sometimes your friends are, your best friends are there, and it's not something that you can just fake. It comes naturally, and your bond doesn't happen very quickly. And when you're going through emotional problems, you don't want to start, new friendships with strangers, maybe. I don't know. And is there any way to help people cope better with their own environment, and in the you can't change your environment, but is there a way that
so these that is where I think that the role of these adjunct therapies come in.
Yeah.
So kind of art therapies, having a group involvement into maybe yoga or relaxation exercises group is a very wonderful initiative by Nikita and yourself. And I am wholeheartedly there for you. And I would suggest all the viewers there to spread the knowledge and understanding that art therapy and such kind of holistic approaches are meant for a more better well-being states, which just simply following traditional approaches might not occur.
Yeah,
So
addressing the root
much
cause.
better there.
Also, yeah, yoga, Ayurveda, and all those things. Sure. Thank you so much.
I thank
Sorry.
you, Gita, as well as Sangeeta ji, along with the whole team of Heal Thy Ram for this wonderful initiative. I wish this wonderful initiative goes to a larger audience so that a larger mass can benefit by this approach.
Thank you
Thank,
so much.
thank you.
We indeed feel very blessed to receive this heartwarming support and guidance from Dr. Rohit. And now we request Mr. Venkatesh joining us from our studio to proceed with his discussion with our esteemed guest, Dr. Manchanda, on the topic of homeopathy.
Support to Empower World Mental Health Day Mega Workshop.